is the first review I'm doing, I'll explain what I plan to do with this series quickly before getting into the review itself. I will mostly be looking at crossovers, where they be good, bad, or just okay. And today we're going to look at the Billy and Mandy / Kids Next Door crossover. Mostly because I was planning to do the Power Rangers Ninja Turtles one first, but couldn't find it. Anyways, these shows were pretty good by themselves, though they had a strange parallel from each other. By that I mean, in my opinion, Kids Next Door got better as it was going. As for Billy and Mandy, well, I wouldn't say it got worse as it went on. Hell, I'd say it was the better show out of the two. It's more that I like some of the early episodes a bit more, since they focused on dark humor instead of the gross-out humor of the later episodes. But still, it was a good show. Anyways, this episode begins in Billy's house, where he's golfing with Grim's scythe and hits his dad in the head with an apple, then yells at him for ruining his shot. We then get the plot device to start this crossover.
Man in the house? Does that mean I get to wear your lucky pants? No! I'm the one who wears the pants in this family. You just keep an eye on things while I'm gone. And keep your filthy mitts off my pants!
So yeah, Billy's dad leaves, and as you would expect, Billy's an idiot and doesn't listen, thus putting on the pants and quickly getting Grim's scythe stuck in them. We then get a quick Ed, Edd and Eddy cameo.
Hello! Ed, Edd and Eddy's pesky problem fixers. Got a problem that's pesky? We'll fix her for just one lousy quarter. What do you mean you're broke? Hey, if you're looking for charity, call Kids Next Door. They're cheap.
So now that we have our setup, we get a pretty interesting mashup of the two shows' theme songs. Billy opens the door to reveal the Kids Next Door, showing that this is a Type B crossover. What do I mean by that? Well, there's pretty much two types of crossovers. A type is that both these properties are different universes, and one or more characters gets thrown into the other series via some sort of magical or scientific bullshit, usually a portal. And then there's a Type B crossover that pretty much says, these two things are apparently the same universe because shut up. Which you might think in most cases a Type B crossover will make more sense, but trust me, there are things I plan on getting to where it makes the crossover make less sense. Though, to be fair, they do kinda give us an explanation of how these shows are in canon with each other and haven't met before now, beyond cameos.
Normally we try to stay away from this town with all the weird things that happen, but the kids next door never say no to a problem.
Though with that, there are still some questions that get raised that we'll get to later. Anyways, they try to take the pants off of Billy, but fail. So they take Billy to have the K&D scientists figure it out, with number one staying behind to pose as Billy. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Hey! Stop that!
Tell me who you are and what you've done with Billy before I get rough with you.
I'd like to see you try.
You doomed yourself, man. Anyways, on the K&D ship, we see Billy being a jackass, and then they get a message from number 362 about having to deal with the delightful children from down the lane. Then back at Billy's house, number one is being tortured via Fred Burger, and during a commercial break, he tells Mandy everything.
So, you're from a global organization of children with its own army and specialized technology, eh?
Yes, I told you everything. Just please let me go. Hey, where are you going?
To pay a little visit to your friends.
Number one breaks free, only to be stopped by Grim, who for some reason can't see past the disguise. Then we cut to the Delightful Children's mansion, where Billy mistakes the Delightfulization chamber as a bathroom. The Delightful Children try to stop him, and we see some skeletons. We then cut back to Grim and number one, where Grim friends number one with a bone that is really only shown here so it wouldn't be so much of a Deus Ex Machina later on. Though Grim can make do on this threat because he senses a disturbance in the Force.
No! You've got to help me, Billy! Horrible children have fused with my sight. I can feel it. They're evil and strangely delightful.
What did you say?
We then cut back to the mansion where we see that the Delightful Children and Billy have become this thing. Yeah, that. The Delightful Reaper then absorbs number 2 into itself.
He is only the first to assimilate with us. Soon all children will assimilate.
Great, where's Linkara when you need him? Numbers 3 through 5 get to the moon base where they tell number 362 what happened. Where Mandy drops in posing as number 1, which here's the major problem with this crossover. This part of the plot is completely forced because all but number 5 here is a fucking idiot. I mean, I could sorta buy the number 3 and 4 would fall for this since they were kinda made to be idiots. But really, number 362 can't see past this. You are the leader of the whole goddamn Kids Next Door. You should not be this stupid. If you are, then yeah, you deserve to get overthrown by Mandy. We didn't see the Reaper assimilate more characters from both series. Then back to number 1 and Grimm, who fly up to the moon base to see that Mandy has taken over. They get brought to Mandy, who's sitting in the Vadra chair of a statue of herself. She rises and starts monologuing.
These dumb kids have had the means to conquer the world for centuries, but instead spent their time fighting over the right to eat cookies for dinner. But now that I'm in charge, we're having world domination for dinner, with a side of rice.
Which at this point she's not even trying to hide the fact that she's not number 1. I mean, not only is she acting like, well, herself instead of number 1, but she's back to her normal outfits. I mean, this doesn't raise a couple of red flags for the other members of the Kids Next Door? Do they just think number 1 feels like cross-dressing today? I mean, if he does fine, that's his own business. More power to him. But I mean, seriously, Clark Kent is looking at her and thinking that she needs to try harder. Mandy then gets word about the Delightful Reaper.
Billy, you two, come with me. I'm going to take care of that monster personally.
Number 1 and Grimm are then imprisoned, but are quickly saved by number 5, which there's some good character interactions in this scene. Grimm then bones number 1.
This might hurt a bit.
Then we see the Delightful Reaper, and guess what it's doing? Mandy then comes in with her...
Mandy, new dictator, manned robot. Monkeys and nice doggies relax on bellies of turtles.
What kind of acronym is that?
Well, if you weren't in such a rush, maybe I could have come up with a better one.
Okay, that was kinda funny. Mandy and the Reaper fight a bit, but most of Mandy's attacks, including magic oats, have no effect on the Reaper. That's when number 1 and Grimm come into the fight. We get some fun action where they still can't beat the Reaper because...
It's those pants! I know those pants.
Yep, these are my lucky pants, all right. I wore these babies the night I got engaged to Gladys.
You call that lucky?
Heck no! They're lucky because they're immune to lasers, supernatural energies, and mustard.
They fight some more with the Reaper continually shouting, oh come on, I had to. So Mandy comes up and purposely gets defeated so she can take over the Reaper since, yeah, anyone that's watched the Brains episode of Billy and Mandy knows that this kinda just happens if Mandy gets absorbed by something else. She's just that evil. And she would be a threat, but as soon as she becomes all powerful, Billy's dad comes back into the episode to take off Mandy's pants. Now with Mandy the power to number 1 and Grimm make a finishing blow to defeat her. Back at the moon base, the two of them are thanked, and Mandy escapes.
Man, that girl's got problems.
Try being in the same show with her every day.
Yeah, that line is what kinda makes it hard for me to see these things as the same universe since, yeah, Billy and Mandy would often break the fourth wall where Kids Next Door, well, didn't. Number 1 is then dragged away by Billy's dad via the ear, who thinks number 1 is Billy. And yeah, with all the mistaken identity that happens in the special, this one's actually justified because yeah, I can see Billy's dad being this stupid. But here's what I think was a slight oversight from the writer or writers of this episode. How did Billy's dad get onto the moon base? I mean, other than the fact that it's, well, on the goddamn moon, Billy's dad's an adult. I don't think they would willingly let him in there. I mean, my best guess is because he pretty much helped defeat the Reaper, but I don't know, it still bothers me. Oh, and to add to the more forced to pay, the Kids Next Door characters still think number one is Billy. Though they don't fall for Billy pretending to be number one, which considering how big dumbasses they were earlier, you would have expect them to. And that's the end of the episode. This crossover is not that bad. Sure, there's problems, mostly the Kids Next Door being dumber than they should be, only in order for the plot point of Mandy taking over to happen. Plus, due to the natures of both shows, I have a tough time seeing them as the same universe. And no, saying that it's not canon is not an excuse. Still, there's some funny moments and good interactions between characters from both shows. Another thing I think I should add is that overall it feels more like a Kids Next Door episode than a Billy and Mandy episode. Not that that's a bad thing, I just thought I'd bring it up. So, if you haven't seen it before and are a fan of at least one of these shows, I'd give it a watch. It's a decent collaboration of two classic Cartoon Network shows.
Take off your friggin' pants! Me and Bakura, we will have our revenge. Him and me will take your leather pants. Oh, wow, wow. Me and Bakura, we will have our revenge. Him and me will take your leather pants. Oh, wow.